Don't mind the messy hair. I had a hat on this morning to plug in a case quad, a 350 quad track that wouldn't start out there, so I had to get the battery charger on it and stuff. But otherwise, for you guys to watch here on this video, is we're gonna be tinting and ceramic coating this 2025 Chevy Silverado 3500 dually. So we're gonna go through, tint the entire windshield, all 4 doors, the back window, put a strip on it, ceramic coat, the fuel stuff up there, all the paint work, take that sticker off, and all that fun stuff. Okay, so whenever I tint a vehicle, I do what's known as bottom loading. So there is a rubber gasket on the bottom of the window that seals the door panel to the window, and I always just pop those out. And that's what allows me to slide the film past it, and it'll actually never be able to peel up past that point because it is past that gasket. So it physically cannot peel up, is the one advantage of bottom loading. And it just makes the install way cleaner, way easier for, you know, all parties involved. So on the new Chevy and GMs, to pull the gasket off, it is, I'm trying to think, 1, 2, I think it's only 4 screws that hold it in on the door panel. And of course I don't have the right size per usual. Yeah, so 4 screws, 7mm. And actually, now I think about it, there actually might be 5. I'll have to check. Oh, no, okay, just 4. So 2 underneath that little plastic cover. The rest of this door panel is held in by clips. So grab the door panel, this bottom right corner, pull, and release the clips. So I'll show you. So this is that gasket that I was talking about. So by pulling off the door panel, because this little plastic piece here, this lip right there, sits on the inside of that. So that's why you gotta take the door panel off. And honestly, to do bottom loading on vehicles, the easiest one by far, without a doubt, is Ford F-150s. You don't have to take the door panel off at all. There's actually enough give in that panel because it's like a soft plastic, or it's not very hard. You can literally just put your thumb on it, peel it back, and this pulls right out. It's super simple. But yeah, so now I just got to do that to the other 4 doors. And typically what I'll do here is take the door panel, not necessarily line it up, but basically just get the bottom clips in so that way then the door panel is not just hanging around. So now, when I do this full windshield, I'll actually take off this mirror housing, the plastics around it, the A-pillars, and on the newer Chevy models, I won't be able to take this one fully off, but this plastic piece here on the dash, this front piece, I'll actually take this piece off, this whole thing, because it's just held in by, I'd say about 8 clips or so, no screws or anything like that. And that allows me to get way down into that windshield versus, you know, if I don't do that, it's hard to get any tools or anything like that deep down in there. So, yeah, all the gaskets are ripped out. I just pulled this truck in about 30 minutes ago, and it's about 8 degrees outside right now. So what I'm gonna do now is actually decon wash this truck, let it warm up, and then that way, on the other side too, is that it takes quite a few hours for this thing to dry off. So why would I want to tint it just to wash it, just to let it sit around, versus I could decon wash it, let it dry as I'm tinting, and knock 2 birds out with 1 stone essentially. So that's what you guys are about to see next here, is us decon wash this truck and get it prepped for coating. Nothing too crazy, you know, in terms of defects that I'm seeing, you know, right off the rip. Already got a paint chip right there. Another one, nope. Yeah, already one little paint chip right there. Weird. Yeah, otherwise no, I mean, a couple of scratches here, but nothing major that's really sticking. Oh, I suppose right there's, if you guys can see all of that. Okay, so on this truck we went through, washed it all up, so now we're just gonna take our iron remover, a couple sprays of panel. Now we did wash this truck with rinseless. So there's tons of lubrication on the surface, and now we're gonna actually use the iron remover as our clay lube when we go through. Not seeing too much turn purple here. Oh, there's a little bit back here. Yeah, so now we'll go through and mechanically decontaminate the paint, rinse it, dry it, and start polishing it. Okay, now that's clean. I mean, you can see decent amount of purple, and what that is, that's the actual iron remover reacting with the iron particles on the paint that have embedded themselves onto it. So now all we're gonna do is rinse it off, dry it, and then we can start polishing. Oh yeah, right there's a good example. And this truck's got probably like 200 miles on it. Okay, so now we move on to my favorite part of any day, and that is tinting that truck. So what I'm gonna do is come into my software here, open up DAP. It's by a company made by XPEL. We use their film for the most part, but we're going to start transitioning away to Lumar and Suntech, so I'm sure I'm going to get rid of DAP as well and move over to their software, which is called Core. So now we got loaded in here. Go to parts search. I want window film. It's a 2025 Chevrolet Silverado HD 3500. LTZ, LT, all that stuff, that doesn't matter quite much, but what does matter though is if I do crew cab or double cab. Now that we're on here, so now we have all the windows. This stuff is for like Canadian or something like that, or I don't know, the way they explained it to me, it was weird, but otherwise, so short cut goes up to what would be the rubber gasket, standard cut goes 1/4 inch below, long cut goes 1/2 inch. I always do standard cut for all my window tint stuff on trucks, and then we obviously got the power sliding rear window. We've got a couple of different windshield choices. I know it's definitely not this one. It could possibly be this one, but more than likely it's going to be this guy here. And what's cool too is that it's even got the strips as well, and I can actually go in here and edit the strips as well to make them a little bit bigger. Same thing with the windshield or the back window. Basically any of these plots I can go ahead and essentially edit and make them how I want. Otherwise, in this plotter here, you gotta double check to make sure I got 15% loaded up for the front doors. The rolls all have a SKU number in there, and this one says XP8 or XR Black 15 by 24. So that is the right roll. Come over here. I might have accidentally screwed up. I might have clicked number 3 and not 2. Yep, I did. At the start of the day, take my needle out, blow it out in case there's any residue from the previous cuts or films, stuff like that. And then what I'll do is I'll actually suck him back up to get to the frontmost edge. Tell it that's where I want it to start. We're going to do the front driver door first. And that's all, and you can see it's cutting out the shape of the door perfectly. So what I'll do then is chop that off, take it down to the peel board, weed it out, prep, clean my window, and install it. Okay, so over here, Dinah's going through, polishing that up while I'm gonna be going through and tinting the windows. So upstairs, I cut out that window. I'll kind of show you. So the shape of the window is in this. And so how it works is I'll just cut off the excess, probably about 1/4 inch around the actual shape of the window. So that's, you know, trimming the fat. Now this part is weeding it. As long as everything is done right and all my settings are correct, it'll peel off just like that. Oh, see, I got a little nick right here where I didn't cut all the way through. So just take my knife and finish it off. So that tells me I need to probably adjust my blade downward just a little bit. Take my sprayer. Spray my window down. Spray it. Squeegee it. Spray the release liner on the tint itself. Spray the tint. Grab the tint. And maneuver it in place. So my right side's good, my left, just need to go forward just a hair. Let it fall in. And now we just work it down and back. Squeegee out the water. Or basically this is getting out most of the water and air as our initial. Double check, make sure alignment's good. It is. And then what I'll do is I'll actually switch to a harder durometer, which is basically the stiffness of the squeegee itself. Give me some lubricant. Take my blue. This will remove any excess. So now what I'll do is I will, being as it's, you know, we're in the middle, or we're in the beginning parts of January, so it's obviously cold here. So what I'm gonna do is grab my heat gun, basically heat lock that top edge. And what this allows is basically for the film to cure a little bit faster in a way. This is more so as like an insurance policy to make sure that top edge doesn't peel back on me in case they were to roll the windows down in the next 2 days. A few times. If I had my corded heat gun, I don't have to hit this once, but being this cordless one doesn't have as much juice as the plug-in ones, hit it a few times there. And then I'll actually take a side swipe that I use for prep, knock the edges down to there, knock those edges up and out. Really good alignment, which is why you pay a boatload for a good software program versus, you know, some of the cheaper ones. But now what I'll do is I'll finish out this bottom 4 inches or so and put the gas back in, and that's done. Okay, so then as far as putting this door panel back together, I only got a few clips in the bottom holding that in. So I'll just let the door rest right there. Take my gasket back in the top. Like that.
the next day.
Good morning, everybody. It's 8:30ish or so this morning. Decided to sleep in just a little bit, and there was some snow, so I had to clear off the driveway at the home. But anyway, where we left off yesterday was I got the full windshield tinted on that truck, and I usually like to let it sit for a few hours before I go through and do a strip, just to make sure I don't have any water that'll basically run back down in a way. So now this morning here, I'm going to go through and throw a strip or like a windshield brow on the top of the windshield. And I always do it in 5%. It's the way all strips should be done. I know some dealerships just do 20 to save money on film, because then they don't have to order another roll, even though it costs the exact same. I don't understand it, but that's just how some people do it. So now, I'm gonna take my roll here that's laying around. It's 5. Because the box got thrown away, so I just have a roll sitting around randomly. So one of the nice things about doing a strip over the top of a windshield, or a freshly tinted windshield, is I don't have to scrub out the razor blade. It's literally spray it, squeegee it down, grab the film, and line it up. The only thing though is that tint on tint loves to stick very quick. See, like I can barely, see, it's not really wanting to like slide, it's more so grab, so you almost kind of got it, get it right where you want it and just go. Walk down the center, just a little bit more water, take a harder squeegee, get the rest of the water out. Okay, so as you guys can see here, Donnie is going through and leveling the coating off, even though there's really not much. I mean, you can see a little bit of the coating left, but I mean, it's probably 2 passes and it's done. So yeah, I mean, this coating is so stinking easy, like even a kid could probably do it, honestly. But yeah, otherwise, tint's done. You can see him over there while I'm working on tinting this, so.
Always watch your back.
All right, well, just like that, this truck is now protected for the next 7 years. And the tint is all dialed in, 35% over factory, 15 on the front, 250 on the windshield. Ceramic coated the headlights, the grill, all painted surfaces, the trim, like even on the mirrors here and stuff like that are all done. But yeah, so I mean, this is how you know it's coated. When the water just runs off like that. I mean, it's pretty crazy, the hydrophobics. So, yeah. If you guys are interested in getting your vehicle done, there is a link down below that you can click to fill out the form. Whether it's a pickup like this or a tractor like that, feel free to reach out and love to do some work for you. Like, comment, subscribe, helps out the algorithm and stuff like that. I looked the other day and only 70 to 80% of you guys are actually subscribed. So if you could, doesn't cost you anything. If you could just hit that button down below. Maybe you never watched another one of my videos, but hey, if you're subscribed, I'd like that and we'd really appreciate it. So, all right, until next time.
Oh,